again, Carson City. I gotta come back. Man, you guys know how to throw a pretty nice party. I apologize for being a little bit late. We had an unbelievable turnout. We had 200 people who could not get in at all. So I wanted to shake hands with them, and then we have 1,000 people in the overflow auditorium. I'm so grateful for all of you for taking the time out on a Monday night.
Move over, people up front.
You know, to spend time with me this evening is a great honor for me. So I really appreciate all of you. I want to thank Steve Platt for the wonderful introduction. Give Steve a big round of applause.
Hopefully he moves around a little bit.
I want to thank his daughter Jessie, who's back there with Steve and Kevin. There you go, Jessie gets a big round of applause. I want to thank all the SCIU members who are in attendance. I appreciate you guys for the great work that you do each and every day. I believe, I have not seen her, but if she's here, I want to make sure to acknowledge Assemblywoman Bonnie Parnell.
In the purple, get out. There she is.
Thank you so much.
Well, I said it the right way. The lady in the purple needs to move.
Some of you know that I now live in Chicago, but I didn't originally come from Chicago. I moved to Chicago after college because I was interested in working at a grassroots level for change. And there were a group of churches who had organized themselves to deal with the devastation of steel plants that had closed. And so they had a little bit of money. They hired me for $12,000 a year.
Woman in the purple's right in the way.
I was 24 years old. And I went out, and for the next 3 years, I worked as an organizer, setting up job training programs for the unemployed, and after-school programs for youth, and trying to bring the economic development into these hard-hit areas. It was the best education I ever had, because it taught me ordinary people can do great things when they're working together. But I also learned that being an organizer, that's hard work. You know, you've got to put in a lot of hours, and the pay is low, and you have to deal with rejection once in a while.
There's like 3 people.
And so whenever I come to a city or a county, I always want to acknowledge the terrific organizers that we have. And my organizer here in Carson City is Nick Kowalski.
He's moving. He's moving around.
Here it comes. Nick's a great guy. Here's Nick.
All blurred.
Come on. Nick's a good looking kid. His mom's not really happy about the beard. But, you know, it's true, I know. Moms never want beards because, you know, they don't want their son to look like he's so old. But Nick is doing an outstanding job. Now, Nick's job, each and every day, all he's thinking about, all he is dreaming about, he lives and breathes and dies this stuff, is getting you to caucus on Saturday. More specifically, he wants you to caucus for me. My job is to be persuasive enough tonight that if there's anybody here who's still wondering who they're going to caucus for, that sometime during the half hour, 45 minutes that we spend here, that a light is going to shine down upon you. A light bulb will go off above your head. And you will say to yourself, I have to caucus for Barack. I have to do it. And if you make that decision, then we want you to memorialize that great decision by filling out one of these supporter cards. Because this will not only help us keep track of how coming to caucus for us. But it also allows us to make sure that we're letting you know where your caucus location is. Now, let me just say a show of hands. How many people are definitely, no matter what, going to caucus on Saturday? That's a pretty good show. Now, let me ask you another question. Don't be bashful. How many people are still undecided about who they're going to caucus for? Raise your hand. Oh,
I already decided a long time
We've got a
ago.
lot of linemen too.
Back in 2003.
We're in the red over there. So we got a whole bunch. We are coming after you. You are in our sights. And so, hopefully, you will be persuaded at the end of the night that caucusing for me is worthwhile. But let me say this, even if you're not going to caucus for me, caucus for somebody. Because Nevadans, you have this extraordinary opportunity. You will have this enormous influence, more than most people in the country, about who will be the next president of the United States of America. You need to take that responsibility very seriously. You need to exercise your right to be involved. If you do, you won't regret it. I think that you'll find it a terrific experience. Give Nick a big round of applause. Yeah, normally I pace around a little bit, keep moving, but because I think we've got a video screen in the next auditorium, I'm going to try to stay a little bit stationary this evening.
I wish you wouldn't.
She wants me to move around.
I really don't want to get in front of anybody here.
Absolutely. So I want to apologize in advance to those who are behind me. It's been almost a year since I stood on the steps of the old state capitol in Springfield, Illinois, and I announced that I would be embarking on this unlikely journey to change America. For those of you who know Illinois, Springfield is where Abraham Lincoln worked and spent most of his career before he became president. And so this old state capitol actually still has his desk and his old stovepipe hat sitting on the desk. It's the place where I worked as a legislator for many years before I went to Washington. Oh, we're going to trade mics, okay. All right, there you go.